So during my junior year of college, I had an internship with Denemeyer and Company. And one of the most important aspects that I learned throughout that internship is about how to balance leadership and responsibilities. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about that interaction. So during this internship, my mentor left for a meeting overseas in Germany. So he was unable to lead the IT team from his usual position. So he left me in charge of leading the IT team. And during this, I had to lead a small team of 4 to 6 members and help them with their information technology needs and help some of my other coworkers as well. So, and immediately an issue that came up with was proving my capability. A lot of the other members didn't believe that I was worthy enough to be in the position to lead them, considering my age and the fact that I was still an intern when I was promoted to this position. But my mentor thought this would be a good opportunity for me to build those skills. So, a way I came up with addressing this issue is to assist them with their own IT issues and to prove my capability by addressing their issues as well as taking on my own work. And this led to some drastic results and changes in their attitudes as far as me leading the team. And I also assigned them some tasks for optimal cooperation, like giving them tasks that they would like or things that they were familiar with to just improve the overall cooperation of each of the team members to make sure we had good chemistry in the workplace. So one of the biggest projects I worked on during this internship was the asset management sheet. This sheet was a detailed document of all the hardware information of the different devices around the company. And I also recorded the location of these devices and the information, such as the device's owners. And then I organized this data by office, and all of the equipment were given numbers for identification. And I used a tracking software so we knew exactly where these locations were as far as the where the device was located, even if they were moved outside of the office. And then throughout this process, this information sheet was used for reimbursement for equipment, and I ended up helping the company be reimbursed for approximately $10,000. So some of the difficulties I faced with this asset management sheet is allocating time to work on other projects. It was just difficult for me to work on this large scale project, having to communicate with multiple offices to get information and still work on my other projects. So something I did to mitigate this was to just take different information and allocating the time for different projects. So I would set aside maybe 15, 30 minutes for one project and an hour for another project, however much the time demanded, and then just rotate between those projects. Another difficulty I struggled with was managing coworkers with technological issues. So whenever coworkers would come in, instead of using the, the online ticketing system, I would just create a hierarchy of tasks by time for completion and urgency. So how long each task would take to complete, and then the urgency of the project. So people who need something as simple as a mouse, I could probably do those things immediately. But some of the more complex tasks, like when certain managers would come in and need help, I would address those issues more urgently. And then the last issue that I faced was the responsiveness of the coworkers. Getting the coworkers to give me that information for the asset management sheet and just communicating with me overall. So a challenge. So in order to address this challenge, I requested the help of my IT team, and since these coworkers had more familiar relationships with the other coworkers, and they were easier had an easier time gathering that information than I had.